Hi everyone. Again, it's only, my thing is for converted Muslims, people stuck in the middle, nowhere to, you don't know which direction to go. It's awful. I've been there for 12, nearly 15 years now. It's ridiculous. So just quick things I keep trying to do. I keep trying to say them for the convert. So like when you first become a convert, I used to watch Dr. Zakir, and he used to say the requirements for heaven are, he used to list out some things, and one of them was a dawah. That's a requirement for heaven. So can you imagine the pressure? That's what is put on you as a convert. You have to go out, and it explains a lot when you see it now, when you see it everywhere. That's all they do. And the converts as well, you see them, because they're told it's a requirement for heaven, and it's not. It's a lie. That's from the hadith. That's not from the Quran. So you can see the big change at Speaker's Corner over the years. It's predominantly Sunni Islam with this on their shoulders that they have to do it. They have to do it. You don't. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. My thing is not for the Sunnis. That's them. I've said this from the beginning. I follow the Quran. I follow the laws the best I can. I follow the Quran. Sunnis don't like Quran only. I mean, it's like, can you imagine a Christian saying you're a kafir because you're following the Bible? Doesn't make sense, does it? So these people who are Sunnis, although they think that they are the most knowledgeable, they think they know everything, what they don't realise is that the people before have been through the exact same thing, the exact same laws that were there and removed. I've gone through all of this before. I can go into that. Let me stick to what I'm talking about with the dawah. It's not required, and what you'll see is they'll pick little lines from the Quran. There's no compulsion in religion. Yeah, because the Quran is nice. The Quran is nice. It's talking about previous wars, previous people were using these oppressive laws, right? So that's where it went to. It was Arabia, nowhere else. Arabia, that's all it was meant for. They obviously didn't listen to it because they're still using all these laws that are not in the Quran. But anyway, right, so that's what they're saying dawah is. They have to go and tell the Christians. No, the Christians are their own people. They have Unitarian and they have Trinitarian. That's between them, not Sunni Islam. You don't come into that. They have their own book that they are going through on their own. They've divided, Sunni Islam coming in with ancient Judaism is not helping anyone. You're not helping anyone. You're destroying the whole world. You're ancient Jews. You're following ancient Judaism. The Jews don't follow ancient Judaism. Right? You are way back, and none of these laws are in your book. Oh, it's going back to them. I don't want to talk to them. Right. I'm talking to the converts. Yeah, Sunnism is ancient Judaism. So I've tried to explain that. The Torah, the Jews had to wear long beards. The Jews were asked to wear long beards for a reason. So they had a recognition, that's the Torah that the Sunnis say is corrupted. But the Jews have gone through this book and have removed laws with the Torah, like apostasy law, stoning, because the Torah is for the Jews. Yeah, it's combined with the newer scripture when Jesus came, and together, you can see a whole, thing. And the Jews and Christians have you know, united in a way. Like they don't fight. They don't. I'm not talking about their country. I'm talking about here, like in the world. Generally, people have just. History is history. You make the law of God in all religions is peace. Peace with everyone. No compulsion, which means, you know, no arguing. So yeah, it's for the Christians, not the Sunnis. The Sunnis, you have no part in telling a Christian what to believe. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's not your job. It's not your place. If somebody, like in the Quran, get the verse for you, put it up loads of times, remind, if the reminder could benefit, if it should benefit, remind with the Quran, if. You can't go and give it your, it's not, you need, the Sunnis need the dawah. You don't read your Quran. You don't know your Quran. You just know what people tell you of the Quran. You don't read it. You just know little lines of verses, what they call dawah script. It's dawah script. But dawah in the Quran, in verse 10:10, have a look at the word dawah used twice in that verse of prayer in heaven, of what the prayer is and what the words are in heaven. The last of the call. It's dawah. That's in heaven. So your dawah is not dawah. You don't know what dawah is. Okay. To like the converts and everything now. All you'll hear the Sunnis talking about is the old laws of Judaism, that it's okay because the old Jews used to use it. There's nothing to do with you. That place is nothing to do with you. God turned the direction away to Arabia. Okay, you're not. That's nothing to do with anyone. That's their place. So you'll hear them going on. Well, your book says this. Your book says this. Your book says that. You know, stoning, putting people to death, putting people. Yes, they were the laws of the land before any book came here. So it went into God's revealing over years and years and years and years and years. How many prophets went there? So many prophets. So many prophets went there. So you see all the stories, what all the prophets said, what happened, and what towards the end, you know, look, Jesus came. The same kind of things happened. But Jesus left with his book, with his scripture. And that's for them to go through. That's for them, you know. The laws that these Sunnis talk about, it's nothing to do with Jesus. Because you can see the prophets are removing these laws. They're introducing, you know, the commandments. You know, do not kill. It's a whole thing because it's a repeating process. So same with us now. There's no more prophets. So we are these ones that have to keep giving this word, or the same word. It's going to be the same till the end. So it goes from old to new, like the old laws to the new. The thing with the Sunnis is they don't start with the Quran. They have these hadiths, which are the same laws as these old laws of the land. So they go from Quran backwards, where the Bible is old to new. Old laws of the land, you know, the laws of apostasy, the laws of violence for anything, being rude to parents. You know, there were laws here before any scriptures came. This is the whole thing. God is teaching you to come out of something. Where Sunnism or Hadithism is backwards, because the Quran has also confirmed this. It doesn't have apostasy laws. It doesn't have any of these laws. But what they've done is gone from the Quran backwards to the Hadith, and all they talk about is the Hadith, and have somehow called the Torah so corrupted and changed. Yet they're following every law, every single law from the old book before anything, you know. So this is the confusion. They're all there, millions of them, with the same Dawa script. They're going nowhere. They're just destroying the world, and that's what's going to happen. They're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The laws are of Gog and Magog, and I've said that for ages. That's their laws. So none of their laws are from the Quran. They'll pick one line because a tafsir told them it means that. Only God interprets for you. You read it and you ask God, and He'll give you the interpretation. You see, if you've got a kind heart, or you know, a knowledge, you know, it makes sense. It's clear, but things are left for people in that book. In verse, I've said it loads of times, verse 3:7, that none know its interpretation except God. Some verses He's left, you know, able to, you're able to make multiple meanings out of it. And those who follow, you know, deceit, and they want to make it suitable to them, yeah, with disease in their heart, they will follow that which is wrong. So like, that was, I was going to go into that, the wife beating verse. They've added so many brackets into that verse, like that, because it doesn't fit. The word means strike, but God will always say what with. So he asked the women not to strike their feet on the ground to reveal their chest. He said about strike the calf, was it, or the cow or something, strike it with, and with what? Then he asked Moses to strike the ground for the water with something. And he asked him to, you know, so the word is used for strike, but only with what with. So in this verse of 4:3-4, it says strike. It's not strike. It means so many different things in the Quran. That word, same word. And it means in verse 43:5, it means turn away and separate. The same word, yeah. So if you take all the brackets out of 4:3-4, and it's not just, there's lots of translations out there that have had this, but because there's only one or two, they go for the majority word and everything. And obviously if you're Christian, if you come from Christianity, you're told in the last days of Jesus, many will try to interpret, you know, you're not going to, because it's basically telling you not to go with this majority's position on things. Just like, because this many said it, doesn't mean it's true. Like, that's the whole thing. It's happened from the beginning. It's like, so the Quran also does explain that only if you if you're a Muslim, I mean, because you can see the majority's position is not Quran only. It's not. They have to have tafsir to tell them what it says, and that's what's happened. You see how many divisions there are, even just in Sunnism. So many, hundreds. I don't know how many. There's so many. They're all split up because they all come away from the Book of God. They don't realise, and that's the reason. One of the reasons is the division in Christianity. No, one or the other, but one's going to be wrong always, you know. But when I came to the Quran, and now I know the Quran, and I also, it reaffirms things in the Bible for me, is that you can't enter a place of prayer, you can't enter a place if it's based on division. So I haven't been to a church or a mosque. I want to go, but I'm not allowed. That's our test. We can't go because we're all divided. We can't go. We're not allowed. So, but it's a test. It's a test. And you're left with the book, so you have more time with that book, with God, on your own with God. And what you find generally with Quran only is that it is just a book of fighting oppression. I see. You just find yourself more bringing the Quran to stop things happening, repeating things that are happening in the world. It is for places of oppression, like false laws, which is what Sunnism is doing, trying to take over England with their Sharia law, which is Pharaoh's law, and the pagans' law. In the Quran, Sharia law is Abraham's, pagan dad. They were there before scripture came. So that's Sharia law, paganism. So don't get confused with that. And Jewish beliefs, they have, basically Sunnism is not the Quran. As much as they might take things, I will go through now, because I've got my own family to teach, and it's like I feel like I'm not even allowed to speak about the Quran. I'm not allowed to speak. That's how Sunnis make me feel. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, the only people that seem to the only people that believe the hadiths, these main things of child marriage, apostasy laws, those two are the main things that you're going to hear all of these arguments about. The only people that believe them are the Sunnis and the Christians. The only people in the world. Because anyone else that sees it, they can see easily that it's not in the Quran. So many people, they see it straight away. The only people that do is the Christians and the Sunnis, which is what you can't say. You can try, that's it, you back off now, you can't, that's it, you can't help anymore, you tried. So, to converts as well, I've gone through that as well. The shahadas are divisions, like, so when you say the shahadas, they are all different, they're not from the Quran. There's no shahada, like you don't say a shahada. I get that it means that you're to something now, but no, the Quran, and I keep going over this verse, chapter 46:15, it's so beautiful, and it's taking the person, God says what happens from the beginning all the way to the end, until when he gets to 40 years old, and he says, indeed my Lord, I have repented to you, please make, like, when someone gets to 40 and you look at scientifically what happens, inside and everything, they reach full strength maturity at the age of 40 years. It says, indeed my Lord, I have repented to you, and indeed I am of the submitters. Yeah, so someone has a long time to decide, and you have a long time to learn. There's no pressure, because what I've said from the beginning in my videos is, or like debates at Speaker's Corner, is that everyone's got a journey. Everyone has to go on their journey with God. He wrote it for you. Do you know what I mean? So when you have people coming to stop it, or sorry, but Sunnism, got no idea. They'll take people's lives for something like the old Judaism, back in the day, thousands of years ago, for being rude to parents, or for this and that and that. Oh, sorry, my washing machine. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so the polytheists in the Quran, the polytheists are like, let me get it. Polytheists are the ones that kill their children. That's the Sunnis. Not all of them, but these honor killings and stuff. So everything the Sunnis